Hey, babies. We are back. Another week. Him podcast in the motherfucking building. I always have my team with me. You'll never see me without my team. Hey, Erin.
What up with it? It's me, your boy.
Hey, Trey.
Hey.
And last but not least, I always got to give my motherfucking... Look, why, bitch? Hey, Stevie girl.
Hi, guys. How are you?
So, we're going to do a quick little check-in before we get this shit popping. You're going to fucking turn into a Red Bull.
I said that I wasn't going to buy one today, but I fell asleep on the train and almost missed my stop. Damn. And I was like, oh no, I gotta pump it up. Pump. Here's the thing. I haven't been drinking big ones anymore because I used to have the big ones. So I said, okay, we gotta, downgrade it. But your girl has been up trying to finish this fucking papers and this work. But you know what? I'm also trying to have a social life. Really not a good idea. So I've been locking myself in my apartment and not doing anything but going to get my hair braided and doing podcast stuff.
Which is fine. Yeah.
But yeah, so I had to come out to the city today. So I gotta get my energy back because come on out.
Okay.
The girls want to chit and they want to chat.
Okay. Bitch, that's my bitch. I love when that hoe say that.
Come on out.
So, Stevie, tell me something nice, bitch.
Girl, I ain't got that much to tell. I've pretty much been doing the same shit. Just in my room, fucking listening to music. I've started creating. I'm not like Trey. Trey definitely creates a lot of amazing playlists. I just want to give him that little plug. But I've been in my room creating my own little playlists that that have get me in a mood or something. But that's pretty much all I've been doing. Just listening to music. I'm also still trying to apply for jobs, trying to get my life back in order, and again waiting for my sister's baby shower. Yeah.
I want to quit school, guys. Get me out. Okay. Get me out of here. I'm in school. I'm in school year round. So it's summer and I'm still in school. Help me.
Are you taking summer classes?
Yes.
Okay. So am I. That's why I just asked.
Help me.
Yeah.
Please help me. Just cut my legs off or something. Help me out.
So look, bitch. I cooked some hamburgers last night.
We talk about how Malik is Chef Boyardee everything, bitch. Them burgers were fab.
Boyardee everything takes me out.
Okay. Everything, bitch. Those burgers were fab, bitch.
Call me Chef Boyardee Puss. But no. I've just been things are slowing down, which I'm really, really happy about. And just learning to focus and block all the New York City noise out. That is, people included, and just learning how to just really focus on my tea and focus on myself. So I'm looking forward to the upcoming weeks because I think this is going to be a beautiful summer. Things are really popping off for the podcast, so I'm happy about that. And just in my personal life as well, things are popping. So, yeah, I'm happy to be back here another week with my handsome friends and family. So, yeah, Trey, what's up?
Hello. What are we?
Well, we checking in. How you been? Where you been? Have you been?
I mean, I'm alive, so I'm here. Yeah, that's it. You ain't gonna get much.
Okay. So I was on Twitter, and I already know the response, but we have two questions. So I was surfing Twitter before I came to recording, and look, I could have sworn I saw a young gay black man tweet that he thought that white people had better sex because they were more open-minded. What do you feel about this? Is this true? Well, obviously we know this isn't true. But what are the as Erin says, what are the implications? Did I get it, bitch?
She did.
Okay, so
I'm sorry.
here's the thing about white sex.
Here's the thing.
Are we really gonna call it white sex?
Well, there's sex and there's white sex. We not reading you if you're white, girl. You know what I'm talking about.
Sex is your sex.
Here's the thing. There's white sex and you know, that's what it is. Yeah, and there's black sex. Okay, so no. So what he said is untrue, but it has a nugget in it. I'll tell you what the nugget. A little. Black folk are, when it comes to things that society considers like fringe, you know, sexual interest, you know, black folk are really not, they're not really here for it. And I can say that in my own experience. You know, some of the things that I'm interested in, people block me or call me weird or like cuss me out, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I'm not doing none of that, you know, blah, blah, blah. And on the other hand, like white folk would be like, yeah, like, you know, punish me, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but I think there's a reason that it's easier to be as open about all the things that you're into when you're white, because it's like you in a society where you're gonna come out on top anyway. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
you are accepted ubiquitously.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing that you can do that's gonna make you a social outcast, and it's like we're already starting from a disadvantage. And then on top of that, it's like most of the time when somebody shows they have an interest in something that's considered fringe, it's like, oh, that's some white shit. You know, that's usually what people say. And so it's not hard to get to where what that thought that he tweeted came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, as all of you niggas know, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have many a fetish. I actually have like several, but the one that I'm most known for is foot fetish. And, you know, most of the time people tell me, oh, that's that white shit. Like I'm not, you know, like, and it's really not. But it actually has taken me, it's very difficult for me to find a black man that's into that. And I just feel like it shouldn't be that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
I think that a lot of our ideas and concepts and just way of thinking as black queer men have been influenced by just history of being oppressed, marginalized people. I think that, you know, I think that a lot of things aren't discussed and talked about in our households as well. We learn a lot of things from our parents. So, you know, when we talk about fetishes and we talk about like anal sex and we talk about things that are, you know, not necessarily, I would call them things that are outside the vanilla scope of sex. You know, it's just like, oh, well, this is what white people do. And, you know, people are into fisting and pissing on people and shitting on people. And you know, that's...
we gotta
look, I mean, I think everybody has boundaries. But what I'm saying is I don't think that, you know, someone's sexual appetite or what they're into sexually is dictated by their skin color, you know? Again, I think our history as a people has influenced our way of thinking where we don't think outside of the box, or we look at things that may be taboo as like taboo. But I think that I mean, I have a man that loves feet.
Yes,
Bitch.
a brother,
No
a
shade.
comrade.
He deposits money just so I can get my feet done. Like that's how into feet.
Yes,
he
tell him I
is.
said we gotta go for drinks so we can just be friends and brothers. Oh my god!
Okay. And I support his fetish. Like if it's ever any time that I'm uncomfortable about anything, I state it, you know? But I think also we were talking, me and Stevie, is just like, girl, you just also need to find the people that align with your sexual interests. You know, don't be out here like trying to do something to somebody that don't want it to happen or are scared or you know.
Never. You know what I'm saying? As soon as somebody, you know, says that they're not into, you know, whatever, then I, you know, it's never like a let me. Yeah. You have to give me them goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Like it's never. It's never that serious because there's a jillion people, you know what I'm saying, like everywhere, and it's like somebody's gonna be into what I'm into.
Gonna want you. Yeah. That's cute.
And so Trey, I know that you've dated white men before. So I've never dated white men, so I don't.
I have two.
I haven't, you know, I don't have anything to put it against, you know. So what would you say your experience is? What would you say? How would you weigh in on that?
Girl, it ain't no difference. I mean, sex is sex. Like, I just don't understand. Like, that question was dumb. Like, that statement was dumb to me. I just feel like, yeah, some people are more private about what they're into, but I feel like, let's be real here. when the door closes and y'all two are where y'all are, whatever y'all want to do is what y'all gonna do. They can say all damn day on Twitter or wherever in the public forum, like, oh my God, I'm just not into that. And then behind closed doors, that's just like with everything though. Like you could be like, bitch, I'm vegan. I do not eat a chicken wing. And then behind closed doors, you is fucking up a Popeyes, a $4 Popeyes box. I'm like, it's what it is. I think that for me, it doesn't change. The person I'm dating doesn't change. Their race doesn't change things. I think that it's about you. Is it as adventurous as you're gonna be? Is as adventurous as you're gonna be? Like, just because somebody's white doesn't say, oh my God, we got so many ample opportunities to do so much more. Like, no. Bitch, nobody said that. You said that. But it was just yes, that's what it implies. Anybody else? I'm done talking for the day, I think.
Yeah, I really, when you mentioned the fisting thing, that really I don't really, no disrespect to the girls that are into that. I'm sorry, but it's just
now. Let me just say, I was read out one episode when we talked about kinks and fetishes because I said something like this. So I'm just gonna say, go ahead. But I want, if you're gonna do that, but I want the same energy we all had. So get your energy.
The girls are hurt and bruised.
It's always, but
from the past.
I am in a good mood today, so I don't want to be hurt or bruised. I just say this, baby. I don't want your fist in my ass. That's it. I like it. I'm open to other things though. I'm not knocking any other fetishes like with the feet and everything. Bitch, I didn't start looking at some feet my damn self. Like, okay, those wow, people really have pretty parts of their body that you wouldn't look at that's sexual, and you get into it, but. The fisting part, will never understand it. I just won't. I'm sorry. For those who like fisting, I'm sorry.
Look, well, I didn't want to put too much on fisting because I was just saying that to say that. But how do you communicate to someone when you're not into their fetishes, or how do you communicate to someone that you want them to be a part of whatever fetish that you are into?
Nice and easy, I guess. Be keeping it as calm as possible, because if you can actually turn them off when you don't want to do what they want to do, that could just end the whole situation. Like if you say, "Oh, well, I'm not in a situation." If I say to someone, "Oh, I don't like fisting," they'd be like, "Oh, well, bitch, you can go." Like some people get into like, "Okay, well, you're not with it. You can." Go about your business.
And it's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
It's like the things that I'm interested in. And if you don't want to do those things, that's fine. But we're not compatible based off of that.
As we talked about on one episode, there is non-negotiables, I think, with relationships. And I think those are a set of, for some people, they may be a set of non-negotiables. That's how you express yourself sexually. And if you can't express yourself, then you can't be whole as a person. So I think those are non-negotiables are there for a reason, and you gotta either y'all are together and feeling it, or you not. So
I think I want to share. No, I'm not going to share that.
You'll never share a story time.
Girl, this is too much. It's too much for me. I just want to move on to the next thing.
It is too much.
But look, this was actually the real the real question that I was supposed to ask.
Okay, wait. You don't get no more questions.
Yes,
I'm done.
yes.
You got too many questions.
It's the real tea.
And do you have it up? Like, is it ready?
Yeah, I already know.
Okay, then spill it.
So this one actually hits close to home. I had a crazy scare, and I want to say thank you, Stevie, for being there and supporting me through, what I'm currently going through. But anywho, long story short, the question is honesty always the best policy in relationships?
Okay, so you want me to go first, or do you want to finish your story?
You sound like you pressed.
No, don't you ever say I'm ever pressed about anything.
Well, you can go ahead.
Girl.
I was.
Go ahead, girl.
Lord. Okay. I was just gonna say, I think we had this discussion just about honesty in general. with me, in all relationships, there's a certain level of honesty I do give you. I'm not going to give you honesty about everything just because, and honestly, I'm not lying to you. I'm just not telling you everything about how I feel because the friendship, the relationship just hasn't reached that level where, one, I like where it is, and if it doesn't hurt me to my core where I can't function anymore, I don't feel like it's necessary to rock the boat at that moment. In relationships, I think sometimes I do say am honest about the small things just because I know the small things are actually really a big thing and are going to really be necessary to move on later if you continuously are leaving dishes in the sink. Before the night is over, you know I'm going to be over it. And so that's where the honesty comes in. Like, babe, like, dude, you gotta wash the dishes. Like I said it. I said I didn't really care about it, but I really do care about it. And I think with friendships, I think I'm the type to, I know my past and I know my mouth and I know my flaws and I know that I'm reckless. In every way, shape, and form, I'm very reckless with the mouth. So I think for me, it is about holding back certain things because you know your triggers, you know what's reckless about you, and you know, hey, I'm not going to be as honest because I like this friendship. I think that this works. And what's the point of saying something that's detrimental and ending something that's good? I mean, that could be a double-edged sword. I mean, why not say you need to speak your mind? But I have learned that there's best to, and when it comes to friendships, you say what's really going to hurt you deep down in your core, and all that other shit, sometimes you just gotta move past it because that's how they are. And in relationships, you gotta say them small things first because, girl, if you leaving them dishes, I have issues. I like a clean kitchen, and I hate having dishes in my sink all night. Like, you know how all the water bugs? No. You clean or put them in the damn dishwasher or something. Like, rinse them off while you. I mean, I'm the type that cooks and cleans while I'm at it. Like, you can't do.
Well, Stevie, look, bitch, I need you to get it together.
I'm sorry, that was funny because I think the same way, bitch. Keep them dishes out the damn sink. That's just because my mother raised me. But when it comes to relationships and figuring out what's going to work and what's not going to work and being completely honest with situations, you have to really sometimes think about not hurting that person. Because I was the type of person back in the day that I used to just say whatever and not care. And in my last relationship, I definitely was, again, that person. I never was really listening and learning from shit that I was supposed to learn from. Like, I was telling him whatever was on my mind. And with that, I was hurting him and not helping him. I think I've said that in previous episodes too with me and my ex, which we are good now. But in the past, I was just like not really too into what he was going through or what was going on his mind. It was more so I would listen to certain things and not give him the whole truth or the whole honest part of it. It was a lot of lying and doing shit that I wasn't supposed to do. And it came to like the point where I had to say to myself, I have to keep it completely honest with him. But it was only certain situations you have to be very truthful with. But then there's other situations that you have to really hold back because you could really, really hurt the person a lot. Yeah.
Obviously now being 29, I'm a little bit more aware of like what I give when I talk to people and just the energies that I give off. And I think that a lot of people misunderstand me, like my size and just who I am as a person, because they think I'm this like really, really, which I am very sweet, but no shade. I think that sometimes just me being an Aries, like I think some things just fall out of my mouth and it is what it is, but I also not it is what it is. It happens. But one thing that I've learned as I've gotten older is to use your delicate gloves when you're speaking to your lover and just understand that you are just as insecure and easily hurt just as much as they are, And one thing that I've really one thing that I love about who I am now and just learning myself is like being in a relationship really makes me slow down and like pay attention. Because, you know, I have someone else there who has feelings and is a complex person, you know, so sometimes it does take that time for you to you have to step back and look at the situation from the outside in and say, okay. And also like we all have different levels of sensitivity. And I know that specifically my boyfriend, I think he's a very sensitive person about certain things, you know what I'm saying? But no shade, I am highly sensitive as well to certain things. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like when he says some shit, I nigga. So yeah, like it's just more so respecting each other's boundaries, knowing each other's soft spots and hard spots. Like, you know, LOL hard spots. But I also know that with honesty, sometimes it has to be planned out, if that makes any sense. Meaning like you have to set it up, you know what I'm saying? And set the scene and set the story so that you can actually have that conversation and that person is going to be in the space to receive that conversation or whatever you're saying. So yeah. What about you, Erin?
What was the question, girl? Cause
Is honesty the always the best policy? You know.
yes. Yes, it is. That in it's very difficult to it's very, very difficult to I'm trying to get my thoughts together. It's difficult to execute that, you know, in relationships. But just like I say that an open channel of communication is absolutely required, honesty is required. Maybe I should clarify. I mean, when it comes to things like, you know, do these pants make me look fat? I don't know. I mean, like I wouldn't consider that like a, you know, a live or die, like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like relationship decision. But, you know, you always want to be honest with your partner because this is somebody that you're spending your life with, or that you're spending a significant amount of time with. You're intimate with them. Like you've developed a connection. You carry a title. Like those things mean something, especially to the other person. And it's disrespectful to be dishonest with them at any point, whether it's about things that you feel or things that you've seen or how you feel about them or, you know, what have you. And honesty and communication go hand in hand. You know, you want to be upfront about the things that you want to say or how you feel, and you need to be honest about them too. Because in the end, you know, if you're not honest, it really just leads to you not being honest again. And then before you know it, you're lying like actively, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, whether or not they ever find out, that's something that you have to carry around forever, you know? And that's just not the way. And of course it is a lot easier said than done, but you should always be honest and upfront with somebody that you're dating. Because it's just better in the end, you know, like it's all on the table. There's nothing to lose. There's, you know, at least they know how you feel. And I know you can be scared that maybe if you say a certain thing or, you know, whatever, you'll hurt them or you'll drive them away or you'll make them angry. But it's like, if that happens, you just have to accept that risk. You know what I'm saying? Because if that happens, at least they know how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Like to choose to lie to them to save the relationship. It's not even a relationship anymore. You know what I'm saying? You're damaging the foundation of it. So.
Yeah, and I was also gonna understand that. No, just like if you're not being completely transparent about whatever it is in the relationship, know that it is going to affect the relationship tremendously. You know, once trust has been breached, it's really hard to get it back to where it used to be. So understand that you're taking that risk when you are hiding the truth or you're not being fully transparent to the situation that's going on. And we always talk about honesty, but I think it's something that changes from situation to situation. Okay, and it's not even should I tell the truth, it's how do I go about telling the truth. It's like I think I ain't gonna say that, but anywho, yeah. Because I'm just saying, like, I mean, I don't think anybody wants to lie,
Nobody wants. Yeah, no.
but there probably are people out there that want to lie. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like it just honesty and transparency and just being vulnerable is really hard and challenging to do with another person. But I mean, if this person respects you and love you, you know, they will be here for whatever you have to say and the effects of that. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take a cute quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment. Hey girls, this is Malik and you're listening to him. As always, check us out every Wednesday. You can find us at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, Radio Republic, girl, iHeartRadio, YouTube, all the good shit, bitch. Go ahead. Just click on anything, girl. You know you got all them devices. Check us out. And if you don't have any of those platforms, you can always visit our website at himpodcast.com. Love you, babies. And we are back. Bitch, my stomach is kind of growling, so yeah, I'm hungry. But yeah, so we are gonna go ahead and move to our next topic, which is always an interesting conversation to have, but we all are kind of plugged into just, you know, the music scene and just what's going on. So I kind of like wanted to talk about the music industry and just the current state of it and what's wrong with it, what needs to be fixed, and all of that good stuff. So yeah, who's everybody listening to like right now? Like who are y'all listening to?
My K-pop journey continues. That's a whole other world, though. I mean, like,
I know.
you know,
like mainstream. I hate to use the word mainstream.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Frickety frick, man. I don't know. I'm still. Janelle's Dirty Computer is in heavy rotation. Let me hold on. Let me pull up my duper dupes. I don't know, man. Like honestly, my music is just like it's a whole bunch of singles, not like songs that were put out as singles, but like it's just like single songs most of the time. Right. It's very rare that I enjoy enough of an album to have like more than like 2 or 3 songs on it on my phone.
That's actually probably why I don't listen to new music.
Yeah.
I can't listen to the whole album.
Most of the time I go back to old stuff. I've been listening to a lot of old Brandy. You know, my favorite group of like all time is Third Story. They're new though, but their debut album, Lekele 47, her album Wash and Set is in heavy rotation. You know, it's I don't know. I kind of I hop from here to there. Mm-hmm. Most of what it's all in anticipation for me right now. Like I'm looking for new music from my queen, Beyoncé, hopefully one day soon. God almighty, I'm dying. You know, there's new music coming from Teyana.
Can't wait to hear that.
There's new music coming from Ariana.
Baby, I am to blow my wig away.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
So it's like, you know, I'm looking forward more than I am looking at what's here right now. I mean, obviously I would like to be introduced to more music. Can I talk about that for a second? People send me songs. So
I
like,
send you songs all
Stevie
the
does.
fucking
Stevie
time.
sends me songs, and he does. It's hit or miss. You know.
It's okay. That's the whole discussion.
Well, my
that we had.
interests are very. And I will never be the type of person that says, "Oh, I listen to everything," because I do not listen to everything. And the type of music that I listen to is very specific. I love me a fucking ballad.
Absolutely.
That is, give me a lovelorn ballad, and I would choose that over anything. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely adore them. Or just like, you know, a slower song that puts a lot of emphasis on like just like good singing. Like I love that. And so that's like the majority of what I listen to. People send me songs, and I'm just like, And then like music is so personal, so it's like I don't want to be the guy that says, "Wow, this is trash." You know what I'm saying? Like
some people can take that though. I'm that person. Girl, if
So-
you don't like it, you don't like it. It is what it is.
no, see me, I'll just be like, "Oh, girl, I wasn't feeling this one."
Yeah, and
But
I'll be
then
like, "Alright."
they would see me something else, and I'd be like, "Bitch, this was a dupe." So
Yeah.
I want to be introduced to new music, but whenever I listen to playlists that people have created or whatever, like I'm like, this is trash. But sidebar, let me take a quick sidebar.
Detour.
The last playlist I listened to was actually really good, and it was by Trey. Trey's playlists are actually really,
Good playlist.
they're actually really good. They're mad long, girl. Like
They long, but
so is Spotify's.
I've been listening to music for several years, but I'll be discovering not discovering because I was introduced to them, but like I'll be like, oh, let me download, save this one. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be jamming out to them like, and then they become a permanent part of my music library. So, Trey's got that on lock. The rest of y'all girls suck.
That's okay.
But
I just wanted to say, like, I'm probably going to receive a lot of shade from this, but I was a big fan of Aaliyah. And I feel like a lot of the new girls stole her sound, and a lot of male artists, like male R&B artists, have stole like her sound as well. So I love, and also I hate to say this as well, but a lot of girls' music was influenced by Sierra. And she does not get the just due that she deserves and that she earns. So I think that
I would want to say that I was thinking about this the other day. I said I think Sierra's music for the later part was influenced by Maya.
and I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I forgot to. I was gonna say that too.
And I want to say that I think Sierra came in when Maya was, I don't want to say tail end, but we were used to Maya. And I think everyone likes to bring in Sierra and Janet and Sierra and Tinashe and Janet. And I think a lot of them girls is I correlate Sierra and Maya. And Tinashe and Maya, because Maya, let's not forget, Maya was that girl for. Bitch was in Lady Marmalade. Like
she was.
They
R&B
cared
girl.
about her. And I think a lot of times we throw some of the girls to like the first name you can think of. And really, to me, I think Sierra really represents where Maya left off. I think Maya's music was getting to you. You heard Missy. She was giving you working with Missy and Tim. And Sierra came in with Jazzy and Missy, and then she started moving, and then started moving back with Dark Child and Brian Michael and all of them. So I think a lot of the sounds kind of do have to be recycled because one, everyone's going to the same producer. Everyone is going to the label. There's a formula. There's always going to be a formula. There was a formula back then. There was a formula now. Back then, I think it was a little different because you had Babyface, right? And Babyface wrote all this music and this created this entire sound that you know. Just like Pharrell, you know his entire sound. You hear the three notes in the beginning, you know it's a Pharrell track. And I think that back then they were able to have a distinct sound, but also change it up. Babyface, you know it's a Babyface song because you know the lyrics and you know how the way he writes stuff. But some songs you hear and be like, Babyface wrote this? Yeah. Or you like, bitch, I swear, but somebody else. And it's just, they were able to manipulate their sound, but still make it them. Now I think they have a formula of the track. There's the same 3 chords, and it is the same. They may throw in a hi-hat every once in a while, or to keep it sounding like not the same thing. But I remember Trust and Believe by Keisha Cole and Love and War by Tamar were the exact similar, but it was the variation of the track, right? And so I think it was just a bunch of laziness to me. Like I feel like they both made great songs. They were both amazing songs, but I just felt like it was just a laziness. Like, let's give it to both of them. Just change that hi hat, move that to the side, and bring me a guitar or a bass. And then that was what it was. I long for artist development in ARs. I think it was one of the things that drew me in. I used to want to be an A&R when I was a kid. I wanted to I wanted to really take a hold of an artist and create an album and a sound. I think that's what we're missing. I remember Brandy had Dark Child. That was a sound. That was, and you know the difference.
You know what's a Dark Child song and what's not.
I mean, think of.
I mean, and my question to y'all too is like, I mean, is it the artist? Does it becomes the artist sound, or is it the producer sound?
No, it's a combined.
Okay.
You know, Janet had Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and you know that sound. You know that.
Oh yeah, that's why I said Aaliyah. You know,
And I think you know that the sound when two artists have really built the relationship and built a connection, because the music it translates into the music. I mean, Tony and Babyface. I think you can't hear. I mean, I hear now Babyface chords and notes in Tony's voice, because that was just. It was influence, but it was just a deep connection that you learn from one another. And I just think that we miss the times where, I don't want to say it was just one artist and one producer just in the studio knocking out a whole album, but I feel like...
We can get back to that, though.
I mean, I like having different producers. I think but I think a lot of times no one has a distinct sound of who they are. Even if even if Dark Child came up and was like, Brandy, this is the sound we doing. But it complemented everything about her. She was able to give you those background vocals and them harmonies and them ad-libs that was just distinctly her. But over a Dark Child beat, it was a production that you couldn't find nowhere else. And then people started to emulate that. For me, I find I have to listen to new music just because I do the playlist series. And I just like to keep my mind open to what's out there. I'm a little bit of a bougie bitch, though. If your music isn't mastered and mixed properly, I have issues with it. Just because one thing, I used to sing. I know when something is flat and when it's sharp and when it's off pitch and what note is supposed to be where. So for me, I can't function knowing that you may be singing in a C when you really need to be singing a B. Like, I know where your note is, and if you're like just not hitting that note right. And so for me, I'm a little fickle. So I have been falling in love with new artists every day, but I always keep in tune with my classics from my childhood. So my childhood, I remember I was always in charge of the music. I mean, I used to make mixes. My evolution of CD of music has gone. It went from Trey make us a CD mix. I had like 8 CDs mixed all the way through a whole playlist that I had to create before a road trip. Or then now I'm like, bitch, Trey, where your phone at? Plug it in. You doing it. And I think my childhood, I was brought up with Destiny's Child and Brian McKnight. And I feel like I'm from Philly, so you got the Philly neo soul, you got Jill Scott, you got Music Soul Child, you got Kendrick Soul, you got all other artists, Floetry, you got. I grew up with very soulful vocals, and then I branched out as I got older. I moved into pop, but I was very much that R&B hoe. Like I that's my core. And so I've branched out and I do listen to almost anything. It just gotta sound right. Or, you know what? let me not say I listen to almost anything. I listen to almost everything that has a connection or a sound that is R&B. Country music, people be like, oh, I don't listen to country. I like certain country songs that give me that, because R&B is country music. Yeah. Let's be clear. It was stolen. It's a form of soul music. It's blues. And so I've moved. There's certain songs that I'm like, oh, I could really, ooh, this is a real, and it's not your typical R&B song, but it's there. Right. And so that's where my music and my love for that.
I always give myself the title of like music junkie, and I honestly do. I'll take the title. I do listen to everything. I go through iTunes, Apple Music sometimes, and just play the most random songs, and they'll like connect to me in some way. But I will also say that I am a huge R&B lover, like from Toni Braxton to Toni Braxton was definitely one of the biggest. Mary J. Blige. Okay, first of all, Mary J. Blige, like, oh my God, Mary used to take you on like the only journey sometimes, and she was in like a really, really dark place through her whole career, but it was just like Mary was talking about some shit. You can listen to a Mary J. I was listening to Mary J. Blige album here, coming here today. Mary J. Blige will always be that bitch. Like, Mary was like solidifying her whole artistry in whatever she was doing. Anytime that Mary dropped something, Mary was doing it. So with Mary, Toni, Mariah, she's another one. She also made her music very, very what it was when she was releasing it. And you can't take that from her. But a lot of the new girls are like, again, looking back at the old girls and taking what they have put out here. Like, you could hear like someone like making like a version of a Mariah or a version of a Mary, or as you guys were saying, an Aaliyah, and just grabbing. I think that's another thing. People focus on like originality is nowhere to be. It's like nowhere around here. You know what I'm saying? Like people are like taking from other people, and there's no real originality anymore. People are just like taking from what used to be.
But I want to say that I think nothing is new under the sun. And I think that we should say, I mean, people take familiar sounds or samples, and I think that the greats have done it also. I mean, you can hear Mariah's notes and tone is familiar with Aretha or Patty or just Minnie Riperton. Like you hear those chords, and I think the only difference I think is sometimes they lean too much on that sample. I think where Mariah came in was that bitch can write.
Oh.
That Mariah was like, I'm gonna put this. She may sound, you may hear her and say, oh, that sound like such and such, or she gives you that such and such feel, but the pen was different. The pen was more personal, more her. And I also, you know what I also miss? I think I miss the mystique of artists. Just not knowing I don't know everything about Beyonce. I mean, I know enough that she gave me, but I don't know everything about her. I think back then I didn't know everything about Brandy, but now I know she like a number 10 from Wendy's. Oh my God. Me too. I do too. I like a number 10 with a large lemonade with no ice. If you really do love me and you want to send me some Wendy's, that's like a real love connection. But now now I know Mariah likes a drink. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, y'all are naming some people that are not only like invaluable to like just the history of R&B and just black music, but they had a je ne sais quoi about them.
Yes, they did.
These girls that's out now, bitch, they ain't special, and they not trying to be special. You know, they're not trying to.
They're not putting out good stuff though, because some of the girls that aren't really shining like that, be putting out some really good shit.
But I think they're mildly talented. Like they have talent, but
they have a good ear.
They have a good.
I mean, you do have a good ear. You have to have a good ear to even get in the door. Like right now, you have to have a good ear because everything.
I've listened to albums where like they're out of tune, even mastered.
Yeah.
But
You can able to tell that.
who album have you recently listened to that was out of tune? Please.
We can go there. Go ahead.
Tinashe's,
Tinashe's album was a little out of tune.
Scissors.
Scissors was a little out of tune too.
I think some of it is.
But SZA has a weird voice, anyways.
I don't think that it was out of tune. I think it was more or so the style of how she wanted it.
She sings too. She got a funny voice.
Tinashe, those sound like. You know what reminds me
I'm
of?
not gonna do this episode, bitch.
She doesn't. I'm not saying a funny voice like that. It's just what works for her voice works for her voice.
We're not gonna do this because
But no, I want to say I'm not even talking about Tinashe. So Danity came, right?
Yes. We can go there.
One song that I absolutely hate that I've never listened to it because I just think that it wasn't put together well. Sleep on It.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If you hear it, there's one part I would like to get
was
to
like,
know
y'all
ya,
didn't
but
chop them
I
lyrics
can't
up right.
bet you
No.
right now. Like I can't do it. Like
Yeah.
it is a demo to me. Like I feel like why would you put that one if you weren't going to refine it and do the work for it? Like
Especially since y'all put
give
that
it
shit
to
on
me?
TV. Y'all let us be in the studio when they fucking created the song, and then you put the song on the album, and it's a hot fucking mess.
I wasn't here for that.
And so I mean, I just feel like some people are lazy. Some people don't put the work in with the demos they have. Like I remember we always talk about J-Lo. I mean, she kept Ashanti lyrics on some of her shit. Like, but then it wasn't as noticeable. And then now you notice it, and now you're like, bitch, don't try and pass that shit off no more. But I mean, I also think just back in the day, there was just something special about music that isn't. We don't know so much. I think that's the issue. We know so much. We know we can do it ourselves. You thought back then, bitch, I can't do it without the label. Now you're like, well, bitch, give me a mic. Like, open GarageBand, bitch, and drop the beats.
That's what I was gonna say. The music industry is very oversaturated, and with talented and untalented people that aren't talented. So I think that one thing that I really I want the girls to clear out so I can see who really is real and about this and actually want this as a career or as, as something real. Because I think a lot of people that, like you said, it's so easy to get on, create something and distribute it. And it's just like, well, girl, are you really a musician? Like, is this really your craft or is this just a hobby? You know what I'm saying? And I think that there's obviously a difference. So, like, where do y'all see R&B and just black music in the next 5 to 10 years?
It's coming back. I think it's coming back in a different variation. I remember soul music wasn't really where it was, and then neo soul came out, and then it was a rebirth. I think alternative R&B is like the neo soul, just without the soul aspect to it.
I agree.
I think everything needs to change. The industry is probably going to be done in the next 10 to 15 years just because you can drop some beats on SoundCloud. And I think it's better for it because it's going to show who's really creative and who's really wants this shit. And not trying to do it to hobby it's nothing wrong with doing it as a hobby to support your family, but just not making a mockery of something that really connects, just what music is for people. I think that genres are I feel like we no longer need genres. I think genres, while it is good to have just because you want to dig through the R&B crates, like I think you gotta see that everything is coming together. You got some songs that now throw some EDM background beats, but also keep it R&B. I mean, Mary put out a whole album, the London Sessions, where it was very like, you was like, Mary, is this a synth beat, Mary? But it still was her R&B sound. So I think as long as artists are continually to just create but still stay true to themselves, I think that's what I love about Beyonce so much. I mean, she can change so much and it's always something different. You're not getting, but it's still hints of the first time you've heard her. The girl singing, rapping, no. Like you hear that. You hear that still to this day. So I think as long as the girls move out the way, whoever really, really wants it gets in the studio and really, really shows that they really, really, really want it, we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that it is what it is. One thing I am happy about when I think about, Beyonce's Lemonade, and then we have Solange's A Seat at the Table, and then we have Dirty Computer now by Janelle Monáe, and then Donald Glover just released the song In America, Childish Gambino, and I don't know if you've seen the video or heard the song, but it's an example as it exemplifies like what's going on in this world, and us being shot, and just all of the things that literally have popped off in the U.S. within like last 3 to 5 years. So like you said, I'm glad to see black music slowly starting to change. And before I came here, someone tweeted that they're happy that their favorite artists are upset with the current climate that we're in, because this is making artists actually change their music and put out something that is going to, comfort us, our fans. Think how comforting Lemonade was, you know what I'm saying? And to hear that and how affirming it is. And think about Dirty Computer, what that stands for queer people.
Her song Americans at the end.
I listened to that on the train.
Those lyrics, that's a fantastic song.
And the person talking behind it, like the voiceover.
Yeah.
Janelle did that.
I was gagging on the train when I heard it, and I still haven't listened to the album in its entirety. But sometimes you got to listen to a song and come back in the next 2 days because it literally rouses you.
The thing that's missing from mainstream music, I'm going to say in general, because there are obvious exceptions, but music is not as carefully crafted anymore. It's just thrown together and put out, and you can see the people that, recently he was a dumbass on Twitter, but Daniel Caesar's album, Freudian, I loved it because it stood out to me because it was so carefully put together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was nothing was out of place. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of it sounded like it was thrown together. The songs that weren't singles didn't seem like they were just filler for the album. Like, everything, it was an album. You know what I'm saying? And like Beyonce said, you know what I'm saying? People don't put out albums. It's not a work of art anymore. People are just putting out singles and singles and singles. And it's like, music has to be carefully crafted. You know what I'm saying? And you can hear it when it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about whoever's like just belting out or notes or whatever. It's about, the production and that kind of thing. That stuff matters. So, yeah.
And I also want us to stop rushing artists to put out music. I know we're like anticipating, we're excited, but I feel like we sit and rush people to be
and be adding them on Twitter and
like,
Instagram.
Bitch, where the album, and it's been like 3 months since the last album.
And
so
you gonna buy it and take it anyway. So
I feel like I'm not gonna remove myself, but I don't blame her. I don't think she spoiled anybody. But like, I remember Beyonce put out an album in like a fucking month. Like, she was like, "Oh yeah, I did B-Day in like 6 weeks," and we was like, "And the bitch in this album is immaculate." Oh yeah, so albums can come out in 6 weeks now, bitch. Like,
y'all need to bring your album out now.
and I remember like Aretha put out an album like every 5 years, and y'all was in there and they was living like, "Oh bitch, we was living off an album for a good 4 years," and like, I think. No, she put out 2.
She put out 2 albums, and they still going to see us.
I hate when people say that she put out 1.
The Unplugged.
No, that was all new music, and that was none of the songs that you heard before.
Which I love. First of all, I share a love. Like, the Unplugged album is always going to be very special for me, but I don't think that. Well, anywho, that's not important. But Yeah, like I look forward to music. I think that it's going in an upward, like in a progressive movement. But I think that social media obviously has changed like a lot for artists. And just like we're in a technological age where it's just, we want it fast. And that's everything in our life. So
Okay, so I know that we normally do a jam of the week.
we actually have a listener question though.
Okay,
Yeah.
go first with that.
Yeah, so this is from my baby. Can I say the
No.
name?
If you want, I mean, like this, the
Oh, it's usually anonymous. Though,
Yes,
so
we're not gonna do that.
But this is from my baby, and I actually love the question. The question is it difficult to date a man who is fundamentally different from you? Example, you are a masculine gay man who doesn't subscribe to no fats, no femmes, but he does, and is toxic around you. Or a black man dating a white man who exclusively dates black and or Latino men. Did y'all understand that? I understood it.
That was a very weird question. So, like, are they just saying, like, is it, how do we feel about dating people that we're not, like, not attracted, but, like,
no. This
not
is-
the same as? Like,
or-
you're
They just have different views.
say you meet a dude and y'all are like really hitting it off and it's really working and y'all are no. Can I finish what I'm saying first before you interrupt?
just, go ahead.
So y'all dating, y'all hitting it off. It's been like a couple weeks. You really feeling it. You know what I'm saying? You spending like every day together, blah, blah. And then you find out that he subscribes to no fat, no femmes. Or you're a black dude and you're dating like a Latino, or you're dating a white guy. And it's, he seems to get it. So, everything. But then you find out that he exclusively dates black and or Latino men.
I think
Where do you go from there? Is it difficult for you to continue from there? Is it,
yes and no. It depends on like how it affects you, I think that you care about, I think that one thing that I was, personally, I've never really been into, well, my boyfriend is bisexual and he is uber masculine and I am uber feminine. And there are certain things that he does not know about the gay community. And it's something that has always made me skeptical of like being in a relationship with him. And I think one thing that has helped me, or one thing that I've done, is literally I've opened up my life to him. You know what I'm saying? And like literally I have to sit him down and say, hey, this is what this is. And this is what this is. Like he knows no gay lingo. He does not. And I'm not saying that, he's any less gay or bisexual, or any less connected to the gay community. But he doesn't have any gay friends. He's never been to a gay club. And it's just like we live two different separate lives, and a lot of times, again, it has me in my head thinking that this can't work. But you just have to show, like we always say, we have to express empathy, because you can't blame someone from not knowing the other side of your journey or like your entire life. So yeah.
I just feel like, does that, I'm trying to figure out why it's you're hesitant. Just because I'm like,
you don't know if this person wants to be with you, because like a lot of people, if you get online,
are you scared that it's you are becoming you are viewed as like a fetish, like a
it's a lot of
conqueror
things.
type of mentality?
Look, just what we do now. I was scared that, well, first of all, like, everybody says no fats, no femmes, you know what I'm saying? And I think that it's very difficult for me to date, because I am feminine, and it's not something that I run away from. Yeah. So when you have someone who's already, and he's never done that, you know what I'm saying? But I already know that that's like a societal thing, and that's what most people go for, is a masculine man. So I'm already like,
you're
up
on
in
go.
arms. Yeah, I'm already up in arms about that. So again, that makes it difficult for me to be with him. But again, like I am myself unapologetically, and it has worked. So yeah, I'll let someone else take it, because I've been. How do you combat?
I don't know, man. It gets difficult. If I were to find that out, it's like, so say for instance, he subscribes to No Fats, No Femmes. I am masculine identified and presenting, and I'm slim. Like my body type is slim, so he would be into me. But it's like you. So then that means like if you say something that's femphobic or fat phobic, it's like I have friends that I care about that are fat and femme or fat
And
or
they're
femme.
probably around you at the time that
Yeah,
you're with
you know
your
what I'm saying?
partner.
And if we're dating and becoming serious, you're gonna meet them at some point. And then on top of all of that, it's like that's a cruel type of view to have. You know what I'm saying? Especially since you're higher up on the privilege ladder than they are. That makes me look at you different.
And if those ideas are in the forefront, I'm sure some more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're thinking that,
If there's that, then there's some other stuff in there too.
be connected to it.
So I'm like, I don't think that it'll progress. Like I think it's probably gonna fizzle out if I don't automatically just cut it. You know what I'm saying? Because eventually you're going to show that you have some internalized things going on with some other stuff as well as that. Not to say that that's not enough by itself, but
So how do we give the person a time to learn? So like
yeah, so that's, because I, because I was femphobic, you know what I'm saying? I was transphobic, those sorts of things, and somebody could have canceled my ass. It's difficult, especially if you're in a relationship with that person, like it gets murky. I'm not entirely sure how to navigate it.
I think that again, you can only be yourself, and the person that wrote this question, obviously I know personally, and we struggle with the same thing. And I think that we always say it, but you have to be yourself and let the chips fall where they may. And if you had that conversation with that person and saying, hey, your speech, your actions, it's femphobic, it's fatphobic, it's transphobic, and that person doesn't work on it or change, then baby, you need to leave. But there are some people who don't know what they say is problematic. Literally. In this day and age, I can't help. I'm going to sigh out of you because I'm like, bitch, I know what sounds problematic. But at the same time, what you think is problematic isn't problematic to someone else. So you have to give them the opportunity to have the discussion, and then you have to judge from there. So did you have anything to say, Stevie? Okay. Well, we're going to move on to our favorite part of the show. No, just like the jam of the week. Everybody get that ready. I'm going to go first, actually. So my jam of the week is going to be, this is what I'm going to do because that's what I'm going to do. It is Crazy Feelings by Missy Elliot featuring Beyoncé. Now, let me say, first of all, Beyoncé is a virtuoso singer. Like, she is one of the best female voices that we'll ever hear. And I actually would love for Beyoncé to dabble in opera. I would love...
Have you not heard Carmen the Hip Opera?
I still... No.
Excuse me, that is disrespectful.
No.
I'm really hurt.
When I say not hip opera,
Body like a corset, shaped like a. Don't make me get my lyrics out.
I want to hear her sing like real like Aida. You know what I'm saying? Like I really want her to play with it, but because I think that Beyonce is literally that talented. But don't nobody want to hear nothing. But her fans don't only want to hear but what Beyonce.
Excuse me, we want to hear everything.
That's what they say. Shh. But anywho, I love that song. Beyonce's voice has changed a lot. I don't know if y'all have noted the progression, but I love in the 90s. Well, I love when she was with Destiny's Child and she would sing lead, and I love on her first album, Dangerously in Love, because it was so raspy. It was just like so like I love the way her voice sound, and then like it sounds different in B-Day and 4, and then her voice sounds different in like Lemonade to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I love Beyonce, and a Missy track. And Missy's singing. Missy is singing, and I love her singing voice as well. So yeah, who's next?
My song, my jam of the week, is by Shontelle, T-shirt. It was more of like a bop that came out, and Shontelle basically was saying that she would, love to be anything in her man's T-shirt, and she played with the words, and it was very, very cute. Shontelle also had really, really cute albums as well, but I've been jamming to that song for like the last week, and it's a good song. Chantel's T-shirt.
My jam of the week is by a band called X Ambassadors. It's a song called "Nervous," and I love the song because it's talking about how when things are going really, really good, I start to get nervous because what comes up must come down. It's a very relatable song, and it's like up tempo, and I really like it. So take a listen.
Lord, I got like 50. So my jam of the week is by Bridget Kelly. It was called "Shit Happens." I just like the lyrics. I mean, it is just. I think it talks about a relationship. Like, look, we both do our dirt. We may have cheated on each other, but shit happens, and whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I love you, so let's stick this out. Let's work this out. Let's do what we gotta do. And I just love the song. I think the melodies, the what it gives me at the moment, is what I love. And she just put out a new album recently.
She did. And it's amazing.
Oh.
I like it.
Okay.
You know me. I like it.
I like that he said, well, I like it. And that's my song of the week. So do we have anything else? Any final thoughts before we go?
No, ma'am.
Like always, check us every Wednesday.
Every motherfucking Wednesday.
They probably even couldn't hear y'all, but whatever. And we always release our episode at midnight. So if you stay up with us, we drop it midnight Wednesday. So we love y'all. Bye.
Yeah, baby.
Bye.